of almost 43 million. Is it that I want to put, let me finish the question, please. Is it that we have in contracted employees maybe payments being made to foreign lawyers in relation to matters currently being processed in Guyana's court? And if they are not there, I'm wondering where they are, those payments.
The honorable member would know that the term contracted employees would not include lawyers and persons who are hired in their professional capacities. These are contracted employees that are intrinsic to the organization. They are working in the organization as members of staff. So there is no contracted lawyer here working in the manner in which you are outlining. And the difference, you did concede that you are not proficient in maths. The increase is 70 million, not 40 billion.
Respectfully, AG, an 8% increase on 330,000 would not be 70 million. Respectfully. I passed common entrance many years ago.
Okay, gentlemen, the difference is the difference that both persons are speaking about. That difference is not the same. One is talking about total for this year minus total for last year.
That's
the other
correct.
one is talking about 8% of last year plus last year. Am I right?
That's correct, sir.
Good.
If the amount was 330 million last year, and the AG before this House gave the explanation for the increase as the 8% salary increase, that does not explain the difference. And I do know the difference between contracted employees and external lawyers.
I am told, sir, that the figure is not static. Is that they are employees that come and go during the course of the year. Mm-hmm. So, and that is the figure that we calculated. The staff number will change. So it's not going to be, it's not pure maths, 40% of this and 8% of this. Mm-hmm. The whole number will vary and fluctuate depending upon how many staff turnover there is.
So just for a little clarity.
And the category as well.
Yes. So the staff number might be the same, but the amount of each person,
that's correct,
the salary change.
But the thrust of his query is whether this sum includes monies paid
no, that's just
to lawyers.
So thank you very much.
May I have a follow-up?
The answer to that is in the negative.
The start of the question by my honorable colleague, Saiku Andrews, was that the number of contracted employees had not moved much, or had not moved at all. So therefore, your explanation about people coming and people going does not hold water. Hmm? Well, if I don't understand, the viewers listening on the outside don't understand each other, and we need an explanation. Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the question.
My question was a follow-up on Honorable Saiku Andrews' question.
Yeah.
And the question that he put to you was, what caused the difference in movement from 331 million roughly, to 401 million? And your explanation at that point was at an 8% salary increase.
Yes.
That doesn't make sense. There must be something else that is happening there. And that's the thrust of my question.
And I'm
my comments, to make this easy for you, my comments on payments to external lawyers was just obiter. But let's focus on, you don't understand what obiter means. Yes. So let's focus on the...
So I'm saying to you that the fluctuation, the difference has to do with the number of staff that comes and went, and the salaries of those staff are not the same. They vary. And that is the aggregate sum that I presented.
Following up, the that movement that you're telling me, it would mean that you would have to have for such a big difference. I would understand if maybe the figure were about 375 to 380 million, but all the way to 400, it would mean that somebody with a big fat Peter Ramsroop type salary had to come in and leave. Honorable Peter Ramsroop, sorry, had to come in and move. But maybe we can just lay over the numbers and so that we
I
can move
can
on from this question.
I can lay over for the
Yes.
honorable member
Yeah, thank you.
the staff turnover and the remunerative package of each staff member, and that may assist him.
Thank you very much, AG. Just again for our newer members, we tend not to speak about person's salary, so we could say the CEO, right, rather than putting a name.
So
Honorable
guided,
Member,
sir.
Mr. Vince Roy Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, going back to 6284 order, the AG mentioned that the project with regards to land titling for several villages in West Berbice. Could the honorable member say when the residents of Editon and Zealous would receive their titles?
So you recognize the work that we are doing in that area. And I want to thank you very much for that. The occupational surveys have been done for 4 of the villages going going in the other direction from Cotton Tree. We began at Cotton Tree, right? So we finished the occupational surveys, and the residents are now preparing some documentations that have to be submitted to the Commission of Title in Berbice and the Commission of their forest registration. Um, the process is a forest registration process. It's a process that is outlined under the Land Registry Act. So an application has to be made to the Commission of Title. And once that is processed, then the title will eventually be issued after some other processes are completed. So it is ongoing. The main part of it, though, is completed. The most time consuming part of it, which is the occupational survey. That is what takes the time, because that is what requires the surveyor to go to every single house and survey the house, have them adjust the fence, adjust buildings, to clear streets, and to clear, even move bridges so that you have a straight line to erect drains, etc. That is the hard part of it. That work has been completed. And now the residents will tell you when you speak to them that they are now filling up a form, which we have specially prepared to be executed before a justice of peace or a commissioner of oaths to affidavits, which will then be filed before the commissioner of title for that process to begin in that court. There's a process after that it has to be gazetted, and if there is no objection after a period, then the title crystallizes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. So, Comrade AG, is it safe to say within a 6 months period or 4?
The particular villages that you mentioned, I would not be able to commit a time, but we are moving in in chronological order, moving from Cotton Tree, coming to town, in the identified 5 villages.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I had a precursor question to the one my colleague asked on 6284. It was in the regularization of these houses. What precipitated that regularization? I'm trying to see if there might be, how do you begin that process? Is it a request from the Ministry of Housing, for instance?
Honorable Minister.
No, it's a request that came from the residents. The truth of the matter is, sir, that in 19, the Torrens system of land registration was introduced into Guyana by the People's Progressive Party government of 1961. At that time, sir, from the, we were regularizing from the plantations to the villages which were formed. And under the transport system, the Roman Dutch system. And that process is a very protracted process and it's a very onerous process. And Dr. Fenton Ramsahai, who was the then Attorney General, introduced the land registration system, which was then operationalized in Australia and New Zealand, and launched that in Guyana. And we began a process countrywide to move to regularize the whole country because there were gaps. When the Dutch left here, the transport system was left, but there was no concerted effort either by the colonial government or even after that to regularize hundreds of communities that would have even the villages that were bought by the free slaves. They are not, they are a master transport, but the occupants of those villages, they had to, up to now they are doing it on their own initiative, deriving their title from that master transport. Governments had started a process of countrywide regularization, but during the mid-1970s, it was aborted. So you have all these villages now with people living in them for a number of years, and they're not titled. Ministry of Housing started a land what they call a squatter regularization settlement program, and they have done several dozens of villages across the country, but there are significant gaps. So at some point in time, sir, we will have to resume a national exercise. Until then, we are doing as we are doing now.
AG, could I have a follow-up, Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
I asked that question because when one looks at, for instance, at the end of the year, like now, you might have a big number that says, let's say 4,000 titles were given out by the government. I'm looking to see whether you might see a big allocation too. So you might think at the end of the year, it is 4,000 of this allocation. But if you, as a AGM chamber, are also doing titling, I'm looking to see how many, if 50 or 4,000, what came through your office, that might have been people already living on the land who are now titled, or is it people who are given, who are new to the land who are being titled? So the follow-up question then, I guess, Mr. AG, is if this titling that your office is doing is tied into the wider titling system at the Ministry of Housing.
Let me say, when the government says, when the government says that we have issued 52,000 titles, it doesn't include this.
It does not.
It does not. That's housing alone. That's housing alone. You see, we should be promoting this, and I'm happy that you're giving me an opportunity to do it. Because we are generating, for cotton tree alone, we have generated what over 300 titles. But that's not in the national statistics that my brother, the Honorable Colin Crowell, would have spoken about. And Colin, let's amend the statistics to add this initiative to it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipur.
Could I have a
Honorable
follow-up?
Member, I now put the question that
Could I
the
have a
sum.
follow-up? Could I have a follow-up, Mr. Chairman?
Honorable Member, Mr. Rabu Ali.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Minister, when you look at the reports, some of the annual reports that come from these commissions and so, some of it.
On these what?
The commissions.
Which commissions?
For example, the Public Procurement Commission. I'll use that as an example. The part of the recommendations that you get from them is that they don't have the legislation to actually enforce some of the powers that they do have. One of the recommendations that is on the last report is asking for the ability to enforce some of their powers. So I'm asking the Honourable Minister to state whether the government intends to bring any amendments to the Public Procurement Act to give legal effect to some of the recommendations of the Commission.
We have draft amendments already prepared along with regulations or draft amended regulations in relation to the Public Procurement Act, and we'll be tabling them this year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member Dr. Todd.
Thank you, Chair, Mr. Chair. Can the Honorable Attorney General see? I know that we are looking at program 523. Can you say what specific amount is allocated for legislations, for drafting of legislations, and whether the ministry foresees a specific amount that may be going to technical experts who may assist in those drafts?
Honorable AG.
Over 95% of the legislation that we draft, sir, are indigenously done. They are done within our chambers, and I want to hail the drafting staff of the Attorney General chambers. It's only when we get external funding, either from a project or from a loan, which we don't have now, that we get the opportunity of retaining external counsel to draft. So all the hard work and the multiplicity of very complex legislation that you see are being churned out and generated are being done intrinsically by the Attorney General chambers. And you should laud the staff for that. I didn't say me.
Thank you very much, AG. The Honorable Member, Ms. Amanza Walton Dizio.
Thank you. Honorable AG, in some jurisdictions, the Attorney General's chambers provide drafting expertise to the National Assembly to be availed by, for example, members of the opposition who may wish to draft a private bill. I'm just curious as to whether that is a facility that currently exists and it has not yet been accessed, or it doesn't exist at all. Is it that they're just specifically confined to drafting bills pursuant to maybe your directives or cabinet directives?
Historically, we have never had the facility whereby the drafting arm of the Attorney General chambers offers its services to an agency exclusive of the government. And that is the position that currently obtains.
Thank you, AG. Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I direct my question is to
Mr. Duncan.
Attorney. Oh, sorry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. On the same line item, Attorney General, I think it was last year, there was a mandatory specialized unit mandated for all government agencies to monitor and evaluate contract performance. Is that being catered for by the specific ministries, or that comes under your ministry and being catered for in this year's budget?
It's a unit that is established within the Attorney General chambers, and it is constituted by lawyers in the chambers. Some of them are here, and they offer the services in collaborating with the different ministries. So we offer that service within the chambers.
Thank you, AG. Dr. Todd.
Thank you.
Unlike in other countries where millions and millions are spent on external counsel, we do the hard work.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We,
Honorable Attorney General, I direct my
I
attention
leave.
to item 6321. I notice, and this is particularly pertaining to the Constitution Reform Commission. Can the Honorable Attorney General assist us with what out of this 218 plus million dollars, what amount will be going to salaries? And it's coming from the backdrop that this commission spent in excess of 119 million last year, and that there were no consultations done. And I do see and recognize that the projection is about 20 this year.
Honorable AG.
Hmm?
The chairman, the secretary, the administrator, and the cleaner are persons who get a fixed remuneration from the commission. There are 20 commissioners, one of whom is the Honorable Ganesh Mahipal, who receive a stipend monthly. I didn't say that. I said you are one of them. I didn't say who are the others.
Thank you, AG. Honorable members, I know. Honorable member, Ms. Amanza Bolton this year.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a follow-up through you, Honorable AG, and this is just to have a clear understanding, and for the members of the public who might be listening, how will the work of the commission proceed? Elections have happened, a new government is sworn in. I recall during the life of the last assembly, we passed a particular act. How is the work plan of the committee in this iteration of the government going to be kickstarted?
This year, the commission has already worked out its work plan. And during the course of this year, I know that the commission will invite at least two jurists of high regional standing to do two lectures, and the public outreach program will unfold this year, where the commission plans to hold outreach programs in every region in the country. Maybe more than one visit, but definitely before the end of this year, the commission hopes that it can visit all the regions.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 52, Program 523, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Turn to page 543, honorable members, and I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 52, Program 523, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 52, Program 523, capital, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Can we please turn to pages 300 and 301? Honorable members. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 52, Program 524, State Solicitor, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 52, Program 524, State Solicitor, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Please turn to page 543. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 52, Program 524, Capital Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 52, sorry, Agency 52, Program 524, Capital Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thank you so much, Honorable AG and your staff, for taking us through your
Thank you very much, sir.
agency.
Thank you, members.
And we invite honorable members to join the Honorable Prime Minister and his staff as we turn to pages 52 and 53. Honorable PM, Mr. Mahil Paul alone will be here for 4 hours. There are some other chairs on the other side for PM staff.
Japanese.
Chinese. So look, it's like everything is over. Ready, Honorable Prime Minister? Honorable members,
We're ready, Mr. Speaker.
join
Mr.
me
Chairman.
on pages 52 and 53, and I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 21, Prime Minister's Secretariat Current Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sir, 6116, we see an increase from 42 staff to 46 and a huge increase in terms of the salary from 187 million to 273 million. May I ask the Honorable Prime Minister if the 42 in 2025 is the same 42 in 2026? And if so, the additional 4, what are their designation and the remuneration package?
Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The 4 additional staff are 4 joiners. Sorry, 4 staff coming on board. We refer to them as joiners, but they're not joiners. I can give the designations. Senior Personnel Officer, Personnel Officer 1, Accounts Clerk 3, and receptionist. Now, we use the term joiner for people being employed and people who would have left the job, leaver in the manuscript. So those are the 4 appointments, people who
Thank you,
joined
PM.
our establishment.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. So based on the answer provided by the Honorable Prime Minister, those are jobs that are within the public service establishment. And based on that answer also, the Prime Minister has indicated that for the 42 that existed in 2025 are also the same 42 that is catered for in 2026. Is that correct, Honorable Prime Minister?
Honorable PM.
There'll be no change in the 42.
Thank you. So,
We have
Mr.
four
Speaker,
people who joined, so it moved from 42 to 46.
thank you. So, sir, with the 42 in 2025, we paid 187. Am I looking at it right there? Yes, $187,284,000. And this 187,284,000 includes the 8% that was given in 2025, and that is why it is a higher sum than what was budgeted for as 183 million in early 2025. The difference, sir, is 86 million. Is the Honorable Prime Minister telling us that with these joiners, these 4 additional staff, that they're paid 1.8 million a person?
PM?
Mr. Chairman, we would have had to pay 8% salary increase for all the staff.
Yes, I
And
agree,
then we
Mr.
also
Chairman.
had to pay salaries to the new staff.
I agree, Mr. Chairman, with your respectful permission. I agree that the 8% was paid, and that is why we're seeing an increase to 187,284 reflected as the revised 2025. All additional increases, sir, as this entire House knows, comes from 6141 under the Ministry of Finance. So whatever is the fixed salary for your staff as of December 31st, 2025, that is the salary ought to be reflected in your 2026 estimates. And if there's any additional sum that has to come through salary increase, it comes from finance. So can the Honorable Minister say, why is there $86 million increase in this line when the additional staff are only 4 that are on the pensionable establishment that are being paid a lesser amount than 1.8 million a month?
This one here. This whole thing. Start from here, right? Yeah. You know, Mr. Chairman, I can read out everything here. It will take a lot of time, but I guess the honorable member will understand.
So may I ask, Mr. Chairman?
Let me read everything for you,
No, I
because
was going to make Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I will happily ask the PM if he would be kind enough to lay over
I prefer to read it, Mr. Chairman. This request salaries for 46 contracted employees. The increase is due to 8% salary increases. The people coming on board in the year 2025, project manager, with effect from the 7th of April 2025 at a salary of $1.242.226 million. Project manager with effect from the 17th of March 2025, a salary of $1,129,297. Project manager. And there's about 46. You want me to read out all?
No, I would prefer you
will
lay
have
it
all
over.
the variations.
I would
there.
prefer you lay it over, Mr. Chairman.
There's no need to lay it over. I can read it out for you. Is either I'm allowed to read it out or we go on with the questioning? Everything is here. I offer the explanation.
Mr. Chairman, with your permission.
If you have an 8% being paid to people from scale 1 right up to the higher scale, obviously you will have the variations.
Yes, it was done in 2025.
And it all
amount
to the money that you're talking about.
Mr. Chairman, with your permission, may I move?
No, not as yet. PM understands the question.
Chair,
Prime Minister's offered to lay over all 46.
Mr. Chair, the same salary increases that were paid 8% in 2025, you have to continue paying the people in 2026.
Speak with the chair. because other people don't seem to understand. So we move on. Honorable Member, Dr. Campbell.
Mr. Chairman, my concern is quite similar, and I will try to lay it out much more simple than my colleague just did. On the line item 6111, administrative, there were 5 employees in 2025. That number is increasing to 7 in 2026, so just 2 additional employees. The amount paid on the revised 2025 is 213,733. If I am to increase that by 1.0 to give it the 8%, it then becomes 230 million. The 230 million, but the budget has 307 million. So there's a discrepancy there of $77 million. That 77, a variance of 77. Okay. But you know what? I'll stick with discrepancy. And here's why it's a discrepancy. Because it is going to 2 employees. 2 employees are getting 77 million. And so my question to the Honorable Prime Minister is if he can identify who are those 2 employees that will be gaining $77 million.
Okay, I think, honorable members, please, we seem to be jumping around in terms of this whole head. As far as I am aware, we are speaking to 6116. Am I wrong, Mr. Maipal?
6111, sorry. No, I'm speaking to 6111 now.
When Mr. Maipal started out?
He started at 6116, contracted employees.
And we haven't moved from there.
But
Right.
he agreed to
Mr. Chairman, let me just use an
No,
example.
PM, just give me 1 second. I just want to be on the same page with honorable members. So when the honorable member, Mr. Campbell, said he wanted to explain further, you jump to the overall head, right?
Yeah.
Which has 213,733 as last year, right?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. We have a little disconnect.
Well, the
So,
reason I did that
let
because
us get
there was a
PM.
beginning to lay over.
Let's get PM too.
Mr. Chair,
Because my calculation, the 8% is about 14 million. When you add that to the 187 there, right, you'll get 201. And people want to understand, honorable members, how we go to 273. Right, Mr.
Yes.
Mahipal?
yes.
So there must be some movements within the salaries of the 4 to 6.
Thank you.
So maybe some persons, as AG said, change, and we got more skilled people, so the rates went up.
617.
And that is what PM was offering to lay over.
611.
PM,
Yeah, he did
are we
say-
now on the same page?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, let me speak now so I could answer the honorable member. 6111, administrative. We've moved from 14.9 million to 21.3 million. Right, that's just 6111. You have 6112, right, senior technical. Right, then you have 6113, 6114. So there've been changes right down until you reach 6117, and the total amounted to the difference that carried us to 307.
Honorable Prime Minister,
And the
as the chair pointed out, there is a discrepancy. It'd be better if you just lay the documents over.
There's no discrepancy. If you add the salary increases, Mr. Chair, for each one. Well, but you pay it in 2025, and you have to carry it over into 2026 budget. Comrade.
Honorable member, Mr. Andrews.
Mr. Chairman, if I have 10 employees If I have an employee,
Okay, we are now going to repeat. PM has offered to lay over, right?
Mr. Chair, all I'm saying,
Mr. Chair,
please,
I
please.
did,
Okay, Mr. Andrews, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I did not get it clear from the PM that he was willing to lay over the data so that it can be perused. He's offering to explain it, and he's not doing a good job at accounting for all of that money for 4 employees.
Honorable member, I think you should withdraw that the PM is not doing a good job at accounting.
Mr.
You're imputing.
In my mind,
Right?
Mr. Chair, the people of Guyana needs an explanation. In 2025, we had 57 as the total employees, right? It's gone to 62 now. You have 6111, you're paying them under administrative, 6112, senior technical, 6113, other technical and craft skills, 6114, clerical and office support, 6115, senior skill operatives and unskilled, 6116, contracted employees, 6117, temporary employees. When you add the amount required for the 8% for all the different levels there, it amounted to the difference between 213,733 and 307,570. Is that clear? And of course, we have to increase, we have to cater for the 8% salary increase. That was
Mr.
paid in
Chairman, can I
2025.
beg that this thing be laid over?
Is that easy? Is that
the
is that
nation is
difficult?
hearing us say?
PM, I'm listening to you and no one else. Thank you, PM. Anyone else before I put? Without repeating yourself?
Mr. Chair,
sir.
Mr. Jordan.
6284. Could the Honorable Prime Minister disaggregate that sum? And whilst he's disaggregating that sum, sir, could the Honorable Minister say whether there is a senior advisor that is being paid under that line item or 2 advisors?
Honorable Prime Minister.
6284, a total of $396.5 million. This increases the allocation for consultants supporting the gas to energy project, including gas bottling plant and Amelia Falls hydropower project, $122,560,000. Advise on ICT, 48 million. Hire of consultants for the Honorable Prime Minister, 89,353,500. Consultancy services for design and development of energy strategy, 22,500,000. Consultancy services for data on oil spill act and strategic review, 77,500. Annual subscription for human resource management system, 1,500,000. Purchase of items, authentic software, 4,520,000. Flash drives, hard drives, 1,200,000. Stipend for MTB members, 504,000. Items for the ORPM, $3,200,500. OPM, $9,750,000. Procurement of flags, labels, etc., 3 million. Procurement of t-shirts, caps, etc., 6,112,000. MASH-related activities, 15,200,000.
Thank you, PM. Honorable members, I now put a question. that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 021, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, let us turn to page 512. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 6, Program 061, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, 6294, could the honorable member disaggregate this?
No, capital.
Honorable
Oh,
Member,
you can
Mr.
put it already?
Campbell.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's amount budgeted at in total capital expenditure for 2026 of $12,786,707, and it says in volume 3, construction of natural gas-fired power plant.
Okay, are we at the same
This is
line
capital
item?
expenditure.
I think we had program 1. There's the Office of the Prime Minister. We come
061.
there eventually,
Are we
Mr.
not
Chairman.
there?
We're at 061.
Okay.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 6, Program 061, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. We can now turn to pages 54 and 55. And I propose the question that the sum stated for sorry, we were at Agency 2 just now.
Agency 2, yeah.
Sorry. Let's go back, PM. PM, let's go back. Let's go back to pages 507. I was at 512. My apologies, Honorable Member. Yes, let's go back. I think Gail and I are suffering from too fine lettering. Yes, it is time to go home and sleep. 5:07 p.m. We're at 5:07. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 021, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Mr. Campbell. Honorable members, I now put a question that is any intervention from no. I now put a question that the sum stated for Program Agency 2, Program 021, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. We now go to pages 54 and 55. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 22, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, 6294, other. Could the Honorable Prime Minister disaggregate that sum of $72 billion?
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Chair, the members asked for, honorable member asked for the disaggregation, and the disaggregation is as follows. 120 million caters for unplanned disaster response and relief interventions undertaken in support of affected communities and regional authorities. Re-roofing of 200 houses in Jamaica is included under there. Support for regional and local authorities for damage and needs assessment during times of disaster or complex emergencies. Distribution of potable water and water tanks to drought-affected communities. Provision of logistical support to regional and local authorities. Building materials for communities affected by high winds. Also, this provision supports the government of Guyana relief interventions. For example, catering for the one-off cash grant program. Some 72 billion, $500 million will cater for that activity.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, could the Honorable Minister say how many citizens does this amount cater for?
Honorable Prime Minister.
Yes, for planning purposes, we're catering for 716,261 persons.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Chair, could the honorable member state when would the disbursement begin?
Mr. Chair, we are at this phase where we have a budget. As we pass this budget, the Ministry of Finance will start the preparation for the disbursement of this money, and the people of Guyana will be duly informed as to how soon we will start the payout. Our President, His Excellency, has already communicated to the Guyanese people that this money will be paid after the budget 2026 is passed. So we will be working towards paying this money as early as possible to the people of Guyana after the passage of this budget.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I just want to get clarity from the Honorable Prime Minister as to whether Guyanese would have to register again for this second tranche of cash grant, or what method will be used to do this distribution.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Chair, this will be further explained by the Ministry of Finance, but the average Guyanese will know that we already went through an exercise where over 600,000 people are already registered, and we have that record of the people already registered. Obviously, it will be updated, and then we'll have to do an additional registration exercise to cater for the some 14,000 thereabout Guyanese who will likely to qualify. So we'll have to do a check of the list, update it, and also do some registration. Because, as you know, many Guyanese will now, around 14,000 by our estimation, will be joining the 18 years and above list. Obviously, there will be deaths that you have to take off the list. So there will be a cleaning up exercise of the list.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Could the Honorable Prime Minister also state what analysis or studies were done to determine that $100,000 and that it is sufficient for all Guyanese?
Mr. Chair, a decision was made in 2024 to pay $100,000. We've promised the people that we will again pay the $100,000. Okay? So based on that promise made to the people by the PPPC government, we are feverishly working towards the passage of this budget and to start the preparation to pay the people of Guyana, including all of the members of the opposition too, The 100,000.
All Guyanese.
The people of Guyana, including all the members of the opposition, to pay you the 100,000 that you deserve and you qualify for by simply being a citizen of Guyana, 18 years and above. Shared prosperity. We promise that. We're delivering on that. All of us will benefit.
Mr. Chair, just to make two questions in one to make a point. I just want to ask the Honorable Prime Minister if he is included in the 716,000 Guyanese that would receive this 100,000 cash grant. And while he's doing that,
I cut you off. I cut you off because the Prime Minister.
Mr. Chair, I would like to answer that question.
I'll give you the opportunity. I told them the clock runs, so if they are going to make those statements, you have a good.
No, I would like to answer all the
respond.
statements, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
My birth certificate and my passport has me listed as Guyanese.
And as far as the chair knows, you're 18 years or above 80.
thank you very much, Mr.
Honorable
Chair.
Member, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you very much,
please,
Mr.
you're speaking to the Prime Minister. And there is a word that I learned from the Honorable Member Anil Nandla. Noblesse oblige. When you speak to the noble, please have some respect.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and likewise for all the members of the opposition. Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, the Honorable Prime Minister mentioned that they would have made a promise that they would give the $100,000. But taking into consideration the high cost of living currently in the country and also the poverty rate, I asked the Honorable Prime Minister what measures or what analysis was done to bring them to the point that $100,000 is still sufficient for Guyanese in 2026.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Chair, I'm disappointed with that question because the Honorable Minister of Finance stood here for over 5.5, I think 6.5 hours, and he elaborated on all the measures in the putting people first budget of 2026 that will bring relief to all the people of Guyana. Whether you're old, whether you're young, whether you're disabled, whether you're unemployed, underemployed, fully employed in the private sector, the public sector, whether you're a gold miner. Come on, Mr. Chair. This is just one aspect of the measures. And I particularly said this one here is shared prosperity. Kindly go back, listen to the tape, and there's several other measures that if I try to mention all, it will take the rest of the hour.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you
Mr.
very
Chair-
much, Prime Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I think the Honorable Prime Minister didn't quite understand my question. I'm saying what analysis was done by this People's Progressive Party civic government to determine that in this day and age that the $100,000 is still sufficient for Guyanese. Why then, Mr. Chair?
Honorable Prime Minister, because I wouldn't allow him to
Mr. Chair,
repeat
may I answer
question
him?
3 times.
He talks about sufficiency. The simple answer here, sufficiency is equal to $100,000 plus all the other measures in the budget.
Thank you, Honorable Member, Mr. Maipol.
Sir, thank you. I have one question on the same line. Is there consideration for the money, the $100,000, to be paid to public servants and others who are receiving their salaries via the bank system, so it can be easily transferred from the Ministry of Finance into their existing bank account as opposed to so many paper trail with check cutting and the likes?
Honorable Prime Minister.
The simple answer is that we will take that on board. We already have been discussing that, right? What is the easiest way and the fastest and perhaps more efficient way of ensuring people get this money? And at the appropriate time, when the decisions are made, the entire nation, all the people of Guyana, will be so informed.
Much PM, Honorable Member, Mr. If I say it correct, use Sharma Solomon.
Thank you very much. Under the same item, Mr. Chair, the distribution of this cash grant, and we see the eligibility of migrants who may soon be given ID cards. Is this going to be also included for those who have ID cards or born Guyanese?
Mr. Chair, at the time of registration for this money, once you can show that you're 18 years and you have Guyanese registration, that is a qualification. That's what we did the last time.
So then migrants are going to be paid.
You have to be a Guyanese, and you know what it entails to be a Guyanese. You have to be a Guyanese and you have to be 18 years old and above. Those are the only two requirements.
Thank you very much for that confirmation, PM.
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair, line item 6222, field materials and supplies. Could the Honorable Prime Minister just give me a quick indication of what that line item entails, and then I have a follow-up.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Field materials, 6222, field materials and supply, $25 million. The increase caters for the procurement of items community disaster risk management kits for all the 10 administrative regions of Guyana, 8,520,000. Warehouse restocking, 5,436,000. And the outfitting of community emergency response teams, known as CERT, and wildfire response teams nationwide in support of the CDC mandate. We have $8,044,000 there. And the list, for example, if I can go into some more details for you, breathable shorts, we purchase in a quantity of 60, and it's 5,000 per unit, and that will give us a total of 300,000. And basically is personal protection equipment for field operations, field safety boots, again, personal protection for field operations, 1,050,000. And we catering to equip or outfit 50 persons there. Safety goggles, 650,000. And we buying 100 safety goggles there, because if they're gonna go, when they have wildfire, they have to get safety goggles, they have to get the boots, they have to get the clothing, and they have to get possible oxygen tanks too. So I could go through the list. Tactical outdoor vests, 900,000. Safety vests, $240,000. Overalls, $3 million. Tactical backpacks, $3.2 million. Camel packs, $1.4 million. Spades, $420,000. You might want to ask why spades, but then if you're fighting a fire, sometimes in the forest you have to make fire breaks.
And therefore, the spades are an important tool for the firefighters. Pickaxe with handle, rakes with handle, the two of them combined $600,000. Shovels, $300,000. Long boots, $400,000. Industrial safety gloves, $400,000. Headlamps, so they can work in the day and in the night, or during times of darkness. It may be day, but because of the overcast and combined with the smoke, the place can be dark, and therefore the need to use the headlamps to see what they're doing.
Thank you, Mr.
And there's another list I could continue. You were saying that you want me to stop there?
Yes, no, because I have a
Okay.
clarification to follow on. I think, Mr. Chair, it's quite appropriate that our first responders are properly outfitted. I have no difficulty with the explanation offered. Prime Minister mentioned field response, community field response teams. And I wonder whether we could shift away from CDC personnel and first responders to communities. And I wanted to ask, in the event of a mass casualty, a coastal disaster, let's say there's a major breach in the Georgetown seawall, I was curious as to what has the CDC officially designated evacuation routes, and where in the estimates is funding provided for identifying those routes, maintaining them, and all of the attendant emergency operations that are required?
So, honorable member, it's for me the question would be where in the estimates. It would be more, are these included in this line item?
Are these included in this line
Thank you.
item? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, actually I'm not confused because I'm trained to do this type of operations, complex emergency. So that's an asset. That's an asset to the government. That's an asset to the government in that you have a retired Army officer who became a general, but in his upbringing received training to deal with disasters and complex emergencies. And that is an asset that is being utilized by the PPPC government. So the long and short answer is that as part of your planning, you have what you call contingency plans that from time to time are developed, and then we write exercises and we exercise not only the CDC, because CDC is just a lead agency, all the supporting agencies. For example, the NDIA from the Ministry of Agriculture, the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Defense Force. So when you deal with a disaster, it's an interagency approach. So we do have contingency plans, and part of the consultancy is to further develop additional contingency plans. So if I'm going to tell you, yes, you have a breach of the seawall, you'll see several things happening by several agencies, all coordinated by the CDC. I run the risk of taking an hour to lecture to you what it will entail, but the long and short of it is that you have contingency plans that you develop to cater for these emergencies and complex emergencies or natural disaster, whatever you want to call them, and then you pull together everybody. You run conferences or training sessions where you explain to everybody what their role is likely to be during such an emergency, and then you go to the next stage where you actually conduct exercises and so. So the CDC is on the ball, and they're doing that.
I guess I have one follow-up before we close this matter, Mr. Chair, and that is you have quite eloquently, and I'm happy that we have your expertise in this regard. What I'm saying is that as a citizen, this is Citizen Amanza now, if a breach happens in the seawall, where am I going as a citizen? What is the muster point? What are the routes for evacuation, etc.?
Okay.
Because
it's a good question.
Let me finish.
It's a good question. Go ahead.
Let me finish, please. You will notice that in some other countries, and Mr. Frank Anthony answers this question by saying to me that if the wall breaks in Kingston, go someplace else. But the Honorable PM has been gracious enough to acknowledge that this is a good question. Because what I'm asking, Honorable Prime Minister, is, for example, you travel around the world and you will see, for example, signage. In case of XYZ, this is your muster point. In case of XYZ, this is the community muster point. So you're talking about the plans, etc., and you've correctly outlined what you are doing from the organizational end of things. What I'm trying to get from you is, when will the citizen information trickle down, so that, for example, if this happens, your citizens know what to do, what routes to take, what routes to avoid, etc.
There is a flood management plan. Okay. Sharma Solomon, honorable member, just keep quiet and give me an opportunity to answer. Just keep quiet and give me an opportunity to answer. Just keep quiet and give me an opportunity to answer the honorable member. I am saying there is a flood management plan. All right? What will happen that will cause the seawall to breach? Several things could happen. You could have high tide or something happening before. The point is, the CDC has a unit that is monitoring all these eventualities 24/7. Once it reaches a point where there's likely to be a breach and therefore there's a need for evacuation, we will communicate that to the people of Guyana. There's no need for you before to have signage right through the seawall. You don't know where it will break. You don't know where it will break. What is important is that you monitor and you have people in a state of preparedness. You have shelters. We already, listen to me. We already have, for example, schools are earmarked as shelters, right? If the seawall breaches in a particular area, that area will be cordoned off and people will be diverted to other areas. Simple.
Honorable Member, Ms. Nima Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Um, Following up on what the comrade before me highlighted, I was actually looking at the volume 2, where you have the strategies, impacts, and indicators. I note the impact that speaks to disaster responses effectively coordinated and executed. And the last one that says public is aware of disaster preparedness and response protocols. And then number 6 in the indicator, time taken to mobilize formal disaster response mechanism outlined in plan strategy. I would like to ask the honorable member, is there a public awareness campaign that is ongoing to educate Guyanese about the disaster's response? And secondly, what is the basic strategy or plan if you have a flood or anything like that? What information can you find there? And I ask this question because being in the avenue, Wolford Avenue, I've observed on several occasions a simple incident, whether it be a fire or something happening in the avenue. Instead of the traffic stopping on Vicinjon Road, you would have the fire reel or the fire reel coming in, the parents driving in, and you have, all the children or plus the parents there. And I'm saying it is difficult for people to actually get in or out of the avenue. And, I believe, especially in those areas, some form of education should be done when it comes to dealing with things, disasters. So I would like to know, what are your basic plans?
There are plans, there are educational and communication campaigns that are ongoing, okay? There's a strategy that was devised and designed by the CDC, and they have people who will attend training, okay? Stakeholders will attend training, and during the time of a disaster, what you will normally see is the whole of government or the interagency approach in action. As you mentioned just now, yes, you may have a fire. The fire engine is coming to out the fire. The police will come and cordon off the area, okay? And you will have announcements being made to divert, traffic being diverted from that area, right? You will have people who are affected by the fire. The Ministry of Health is alerted, right? So hospitals are ready to receive victims, whether there is burns, whether there's smoke inhalation, whatever, right? The Human Services Ministry, right? They also alerted, and they will be working with the persons who are affected, informing their parents or whatever. So this whole thing is gonna unfold before you, and many times as an onlooker, you really don't see what is happening. But they have what you call an incident command system that the CDC is trained and they put into operation as soon as something like that happens. So you start with a simple response that you see the fire engine going down to the fire, but then they build on that. The cordon of the area, the announcement to divert traffic, alerting the hospitals nearby to receive casualties, alerting the human services to get the names of people who are affected so they could visit homes and all these things and so. Right?
Thank you, honorable member.
I'm enjoying this. I can talk all night about it.
Todd.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Honorable Prime Minister, I'm glad that you have the experience in disaster management. My question goes more to, have you clearly defined what is a disaster? As I can tell you, and I'm following up just what my colleague had said in relation to your indicators. Almost 3-4 days ago, I think last Wednesday, you had 4 men died on vessel. Do you consider that as a disaster? Because it is a disaster. Absolutely no protocols were activated there. You had a post-mortem report conducted and their deaths are undetermined.
I want to start by telling you that is not a disaster, that's an incident, or if you want to call it an accident. Okay, it is not a disaster, right? You have an accident on the road, 4 people die, is that a disaster? You have children swimming at a resort and 2 of them drunk, is that a disaster? It is not a disaster. It's an accident or incident, and it is dealt with in a localized way. And you know how that was dealt with there. You know how the 4 men who died, how that was dealt with. Maybe if you had, several areas and several more people affected, right? Then perhaps it might reach a stage to deal with it as a disaster. Everything was localized and contained aboard a ship. The bringing out of the bodies, the people who went in afterwards, ensuring that they had the necessary protective gears and so, right? It happened, 4 men died, but what happened afterwards? It didn't spill out over, and then you had 100 men dying. Everything was contained, and it did not go beyond the death of 4 men.
Prime Minister, we're going to talk after, but you're completely wrong, but we'll talk after.
I know that I am completely right because I am schooled in this. I'm listening to you, and I know that there's more you need to learn about this. So definitely we can have a talk so I can transfer knowledge to you.
Honorable member, Dr. Barker.
Mr. Chairman, with reference to line item 6284, can the Honorable Prime Minister indicate whether any of the premises funded under this line item are being used for the collection of personal data, including the taking of photographs of residents? And if so, for what specific purpose these photographs are taken, how they are stored and used, and under what legal or policy authority this activity is conducted for the cash grant.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Chairman, the honorable member is really asking a wide-ranging question here, and he talks a cash grant. 6294 other is cash grant. This has nothing to do with that. This is 6284 other, right? So the cash grant is already dealt with under 6294. This is 6284, and you meant 6294?
That's what you meant, man.
So if, no, you can't tell me that's what you meant. He started by saying 6284. He started talking about photographs and all these things and so. So perhaps we could ask you to repeat the question so we could get some clarity for everybody here.
Honorable Dr. Barker, can you repeat for clarity?
Yes. So with reference to line item 6294, can the Prime Minister indicate whether any of the premises funded under this line item are being used for the collection of personal data, including the taking of photographs of residents? And if so, for what purpose these photographs are taken, how they are stored and used, and under what legal or policy authority this activity is conducted in relation to the cash grant?
Mr. Chair, I'm trying to understand the honorable member. What premises are you talking about under 6294 order? Premise or premises? The only requirement under 6294 to take photographs is the people who have to register for the cash grant. And you know the last time we had to take photographs, we will have to do that again. For the some 14,000 newly qualified diners for the cash grant, they will have to take photographs of them because there's a requirement for a photograph as part of the registration.
Mr. Chairman, follow up.
Go ahead, Honorable.
Just for clarity, can the Prime Minister state what legal or policy authority this activity is conducted under?
Honorable Prime Minister.
I want to answer that simply for you. It is voluntary. If you don't take your photograph, you haven't qualified. You haven't met the requirements of a registration for the cash grant. So it is voluntary. It's for our Guyanese to decide that the requirement for the payment of the cash, listen to me carefully, the requirement is registration. Okay? Registration. You have to be a Guyanese and you have to register, right? If that is the requirement, you could decide, and it's within your right, that because you have to take a photograph, I don't want to take a photograph, and therefore, I am not registering for the cash grant. Does that answer the question?
Thank you,
it's conditional.
Well, you're the one. You have the PhD in English language, so I will defer to you. But I'm telling you, no, it's not disrespectful. That's your opinion. We're not dealing with opinion here. We're dealing with facts. The fact is, he has a PhD in English. What is disrespectful about that? You said it's conditional, but I am saying it's a requirement. Everybody who wants to get and to benefit from the $100,000 has to satisfy the requirement. It's in the right of the individual to decide that I don't want my photograph to be taken, and therefore I waiver my right to collect the $100,000. I'm not getting involved in that.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister.
Mr. Chair,
Dr. Barker.
so just for clarity for all the viewers, you're saying if the resident refuses to take a photograph, they cannot receive that $100,000. Okay.
Honorable Prime
Thank you,
Minister.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Okay. Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, the citizens of Guyana are all listening. 600 plus, 600,000 plus citizens of Guyana went through this exercise. They had to take a photograph as part of the registration, and they were paid their cash grant. That remains a requirement. There's no change to that. All I'm saying, if some citizen, somebody in Guyana decide that they don't want to take a photograph, it means that they will not satisfy the requirement for the payment of the cash grant. And the people of Guyana know that. In order to be paid the cash grant, you have to register. And the registration includes taking a photograph.
Thank you very much.
You got your cash grant already, you're waiting to collect the next one.
Prime Minister.
Mr.
Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
Go and tell the people in Linden that they mustn't register. They're going to laugh at you.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, under the same line item, a follow-up. Mr. Prime Minister, I'm a Guyanese, I want the cash grant, but I'm concerned about my data and the storage and the usage of the data, right? The question is, what safeguards are there? We understand the world we're living in, whether it's at home here in Guyana or internationally, that people can breach your servers and all of that. What guarantees do people have, not only my ID, that my phone number is safe, that my address is safe, my image is safe? That's the question that I have.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Chairman, I recall the honorable member being part of this house in the year 2023 when we passed Data Protection Act. Okay? The Ministry of Finance is the repository of these data that was taken for the payment of the cash grant. We are a responsible government. We are a responsible government. The information was only used to pay people the $100,000. Nobody used that
Mr. Speaker,
for anything else than that.
Mr. Speaker,
And if you have any such information, be a good citizen of Guyana, take the information to the Guyana Police Force so we can have an investigation. Take the information, go to the police and make a statement.
Thank you,
Mr.
Prime
Chairman.
Minister. Mr. Duncan.
Mr. Chairman, I'm trying to bring us back. We started with a nice energy, but I find we're kind of drifting. Mr. Prime Minister, I'm assuming regularity. I'm not assuming malice or anything like that. I'm assuming regularity. I'm a citizen. The same question. You said this legislation was passed. We also know, Prime Minister, that not only the data protection legislation was passed, the Digital Identity Act was also, the bill was passed in 2023. Neither of them have been operationalized. One of them gives rise to the Data Commission. Neither have been operationalized. So to say they were passed is one thing, but neither of them have been enforced. And by that same measure, Prime Minister, any citizen could be worried, not that the information is going to be used for electoral purposes, for any purposes. I'm not looking at that, divorce it from election and all that. The simple question I'm asking, and you have made a point, in the absence of the legislation being operationalized with all the protections inbuilt in the legislation, the guarantees that that the data is safe and secure once given. And again, Prime Minister, I am assuming regularity, no malice, no breach on the government's part.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, there has been no breach of any data. Mr. Chair, we are in the process of operationalizing the Act, and there's only one thing left to do, to issue the commencement order. We've already appointed the commissioner, and as soon as he finishes budget process, I promise this House that the commencement order will be issued.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 022, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Page 507. And I propose the question that for Agency 2, Program 022, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for 02, Program 022, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to 56 and 57. Those are the pages. Don't know if Prime Minister needs to get his support staff in the well, the energy people. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 23, Energy, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Program 23 of Agency 2, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to page 507 again. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 23, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Mr. Campbell, the honorable member.
One second, sir. Line item 2610600, gas to power. It's supposed to be gas to energy project, but that's gas to power, and a sum of 10,716,732,000 has been provided for power plant and associated facilities. My first question to the Honorable Prime Minister, is this for phase 1 or phase 2 of the gas to energy project?
Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This amount is for phase 1.
Follow up, sir.
Go
Can
ahead.
you say specifically what it will be spent on? Because I know a lot of money has already been spent on phase 1. So trying to get clarity on what exactly you're spending this on.
Mr. Chairman, in response to the honorable member's question, 10 areas or items of expenditure, and I will read it out now. EPC for integrated GL plant and 300 megawatt CCGT power plant phase 1, 4,884,096,260. The EPC activities associated with the integrated NGL plant and power plant project are currently underway and progressing on an accelerated schedule, with power generation to the grid plan toward year-end 2026. Number 2, KPIL EPC for transmission lines and substations for integrated NGL plant and 300 megawatt CCGT power plant, $3,293,105,389. And that goes for the completion of the transmission lines and substations project for the integrated NGL plant and power plant, which is on track for May 2026 completion. Number 3, Cummins Electrical supply of transformers, $124,799,625. Completion, that's for the completion of the commission of the transformers, and that is on track for May 2026 completion. EIL is a project management consultant for the NGL and power plant phase 1, and the sum there is $1,160,964,193. The project management consultant is required to provide oversight for the integrated NGL plant and power plant as construction activities are ongoing. Number 5, project management consultant for transmission lines and substations, E&A plus SRKN and SEMCO. They're the project management consultants. Local for the transmission lines and substations and transformers. The sum, $61,434,878. The project management consultant is required to provide oversight for the transmission lines and substations and transformers as construction and commission activities are scheduled for completion in May 2026. Number 6, open systems, supply, integration, installation, and commissioning SCADA. The sum, $643,861,470. And this will go towards the integration, installation, and commissioning of a SCADA GMS, EMS, DTS, and remote terminal units for the Guyana National Control Center, and to ensure that it is on track for completion in 2026. Number 7, Power China International, EPC for GNCC building, $420,929,564. And that is for the construction of building for GNCC, and that is on track for the third quarter 2026 completion. It's on track, meaning the work is ongoing and is in keeping with the timelines and the schedules. So it's just a simple way of saying that everything is going as per plan, as per schedule, as per laid out timelines. So that's what we mean when we use the term on track. No. I'm not assuming because somebody asked the question about why we're using the term on track. Okay, let's move on. Number 8, DBAR, Consulting and Engineering Services for Integration of GNCC, SCADA, EMS, GMS, $1,295,453. And that goes towards engineering and consultancy services as required for the GNCC as construction activities are scheduled for completion in 2026. Number 9, Green Soul Engineering, consultancy services for the construction of the GNCC building, $11,048,450. And again, consultancy services is required for oversight until the completion of construction activities relating to the GNCC. And number 10, studies for industrial development projects. And every little boy and girl in Guyana now knows about the upcoming projects: gas bottling, fertilizer, NGL, and S&O.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
85,196,719. In harnessing the gas resources, new industrial projects are planned for the Wales Industrial Development Zone, for which studies and consultancy support are required. And Mr. Chair, that gives us the grand total of $10,716,732,001.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have two follow-ups quickly.
Go ahead, Honorable Member.
Honorable
Mr. Campbell.
Prime Minister, thank you very much for reading all of that for us. We're deeply appreciative. Can you tell us what costs are associated with having the pipeline that is, I believe, is all the way to Wales and unused at this time? But can you give me like an annual cost, maybe maintenance that you're paying in relation to having that unused pipeline because the project is delayed?
Honorable Member Mr. Campbell, the question got to be framed a little differently, relating to in the line item that you're going to identify if such costs are included and what are those costs for 2026.
Mr. Chair, there's no cost associated as I speak. So for the simple reason, the pipeline was constructed, it is filled with hydrogen, and it is not, I didn't hear you. Sorry, nitrogen. It's filled with nitrogen, and when it becomes operational, in other words, when it's connected and the gas start coming through, then you will have operational and maintenance related costs. But right now, there's no cost because it's just preserved until we're ready to use it.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, could the Honorable Prime Minister say what percentage or the completion rate percentage at this time is phase 1 and whether the simple cycle system is in operation already?
Prime Minister.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I would say it's 68% completion, and there's a reason for that, right? All the major equipments are in country and already moved to the site. The foundation to accommodate those equipment already cured, and the equipment is mounted. So it's just some additional work, and then you have the connections, okay, to be done. And the simple cycle will be operational by the end of this year.
Mr. Chair, the Honorable Prime Minister stated last year that the simple cycle system would have been operational by the 1st of November 2025. Could the Honorable Prime Minister say what could have caused the delay?
Honorable Prime Minister.
Well, again, you could recall that we had to go through a process of soil stabilization, and that would have involved the driving of over 3,000 piles and the moving of a whole set of sand, loam, etc., spreading out, compacting. So you had to do that before you move to another stage. Okay, so that took a lot of time.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Mr. Campbell, the honorable member.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can the Honorable Prime Minister say the transmission system that is being developed, what capacity is that transmission system to take off 300 megawatts or to take off 600 megawatts?
Honorable Prime Minister.
The transmission system is designed and constructed to take off all the power from phase one, which is 300 megawatts of power.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
And another follow-up, Mr.
Honorable
Chairman.
member, Mr. Campbell.
I've had a limited experience in construction, but I've gotten my hands burnt badly. I'm wondering how come you ended up with this big stabilization problem. Weren't there proper soil tests? Was there a failure in the soil testing that was done that ended up with you having to spend all this money ex post facto to stabilize the soil?
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Chair, I want to start answering that question by replying to the honorable member, Mr. Solomon, who talks about location. Anywhere along the coastline of Guyana, you have to do soil testing and you have to do soil stabilization. So whether it's Wales, whether it's Collegian, or wherever, or wherever, you would have had to do the same soil testing, and you would have had to go through a soil stabilization process. That is the reality of the geology of the coastline of Guyana. That is the reality. All the soil testing that were done pointed towards the need for soil stabilization. You are not a geologist. You cannot say anything that I will accept.
Mr.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable member, Mr. Campbell.
Go and do your research. Mr. Campbell is waiting on you.
Yes, yes, Honorable Prime Minister. Everything that's in the public domain points to surprise in the additional soil stabilization that took place. And I want to contradict you because I have personal experience with this. I once put up a building that was only 25 feet wide, and the solid clay was hit to the east at 75 feet, and 25 feet behind, the solid clay was hit at 50 feet. So yes, anywhere in this area on the flat coastline, for that type of project, you would have to do soil testing, but I believe that everything that's in the public domain points to something happening as construction took place that led you to conclude that additional work would have had to be done to stabilize the soil for that gas to energy plant. And I am asking you to come clean with the Guyanese public and let us know exactly what.
Honorable member. Honorable member. Honorable member. Honorable Prime Minister, please. I don't know what is meant by come clean with the Guyanese people. He's imputing on the Honorable Prime Minister. I won't allow that.
Withdrawn, sir. Can you please explain whether the initial soil tests were accurate or not? I would not have a problem if you say the initial soil test had a problem.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Chair, this is the most costly, most expensive, but at the same time most transformative project in Guyana. This is a project that will take Guyana into the future as it pertains to energy security. And we have to get it right. So while soil tests were done, our government wisely made a decision to do additional soil tests. The reality is Wales was selected, and everything specific to Wales had to be done correctly. And based on the information of the additional soil tests, we have to be a responsible government. And we have to take the time and ensure that we have the required stability that could accommodate the civil works and the equipment. Because we don't want, when we build a power plant for the people and it's supposed to last for 20 years, in year one, we have a problem. This is serious business. This is a quite expensive project, quite transformative, and we have to be responsible. And we must not come here and be the people representative and try to spread rumors. You are a rumor monger. You are a rumor monger. We are a responsible government. And if the project has to be delayed by 9 months or a year to ensure that when we turn on the switch, the people get stable electricity that is cheaper than what they're paying for now, we will ensure that we do it properly. And that is the fear of the opposition. The fear of the opposition is that this will be such a successful project that it will put you beyond 2031. You will be on that same side.
Honorable members, we are now, we are, honorable members, we are now, or we have now moved far away from what the questioning on this line item should be. It should be monies that are spent, what are the headings for which this money is spent. Half an hour ago, I think the Prime Minister outlined everything. You have a right to ask on the policy. We don't have a right to repeat it over and over and over again. At this stage, I'll put the question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 23, Energy Capital Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, the sum stated now stands part of the estimates. And just that people may understand, Prime Minister is supposed to spend 1 hour. Started at 9:14. We're now an hour and a half. But we're operating on a principle, and I'm reminding everyone, including members of the business subcommittee that met. The principle is if we have savings on one head, we can continue on the following heads till or until we use it up. And entering where the Prime Minister appeared, we have 86 minutes of savings. So those who are trying to tell me the Prime Minister hour is up, he has an hour plus 86 minutes to answer. Please, whoever wants a job, no confidence. Let us turn to pages 58 and 59. No, we have a principle. Honorable Prime Minister, you have your staff for the telecommunications and innovation. Let me thank your staff on the energy.
Be ready, Mr. Chair.
Honorable members, we now turn to pages 58 and 59. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 24, Telecommunications and Innovation, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Mr. Maipol.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Sir, 6321, subsidies and contributions to local organizations. And the organization here is the National Data Management Authority. May I ask the Honorable Prime Minister if under other goods and services purchased, if this is the line and this is the program that caters for the e-ID card system, the electronic ID card development and processing that is facilitating the registration, etc.
$63.21, Mr. Chair. Subsidies and contribution from central government in 2026, $7,525,048,000. The budget of $7.5 billion for subsidy and contribution from central government is broken down as follows. Employment costs, $1.6 billion. Materials, equipment, and supplies, $307.9 million. Fuel and lubricants, $50.9 million. Rental and maintenance of buildings, $120.9 million. Maintenance of infrastructure, $150.1 million. Transport, travel, and postage, $207.3 million. Utility charges, $226.8 million. Other goods and services purchase, $4.8 billion. Other operating expenses, $37.7 million. Education, subventions, and training, $26.2 million.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipal.
Sir, if you would permit me, the question was, does this program cater for the e-ID program, the electronic identification program?
EID somewhere else, right? No, this does not cater for the EID. This is NDMA.
Pardon me, I didn't hear you.
This does not cater for the EID. This is NDMA.
National Data Management Authority.
Yeah, so can the Honorable Prime Minister disaggregate this sum here that is under other goods and services purchased, which is $5,135,129,000?
Honorable Prime Minister.
Maybe then.
47,969. Other goods and services purchase, we have $769,139,000. Okay. And we have the list of everything that it caters for here. But if you really want to know where the EID is funded, we have to go to Capital, and we'll get there soon. So let me disaggregate this for you if it is necessary.
Well, Mr. Chairman, the Honorable Prime Minister is saying...
Oh, Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipal, please. The Honorable Prime Minister is speaking. He didn't interrupt you when you were asking the question. So let's be patient with him. We still have more than an hour more to go. Honorable Prime Minister, please, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, go ahead with this disaggregation.
He asked a question, you have every right to answer it.
$0.1 million, the disaggregation is as follows: $390.7 million for the continuing expansion of high-speed internet services to 253 hinterland and remote communities, software license and other goods and services. 327 million for real-time monitoring of maritime fleet cocos, canals, and pump stations. 38 million for the maintenance and servicing of equipment and infrastructure critical to support the expanded program for Safe Country. These include equipment maintenance for data centers, 781 IVS sites, 900 kilometers of fiber optic network, 55 tower LTE sites, and 1,200 node satellite network. 12 million for security service for new parking lot at DCC ground and 5 new sites. 1.4 million for cleaning and extermination services. 2.3 million for connectivity charges, internet connections. Right through? This is 5.1.
Right. This is the entire allocation.
So-
The variance. There was the variance that you.
So read through, right? Continue reading. Right.
That was
2.3 billion for connectivity charges. Internet connections have increased from 1,282 in 2020 to 4,806 in 2025. That's the internet connections. We will add another 295 in 2026 to give us a total of 5,101 internet connections. 1.2 billion for public service digitization platform, 333 million for software license and other goods and services, 327 million for real-time monitoring of marine fleet, cocos, canals, and pump station, 887.5 million for equipment maintenance for data center, 781 IVS sites, 78.9 million for security services at 13 locations, and 83 million for cleaning and extermination services. That takes care of the $4,365,990,000.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipon.
Mr. Chairman, with all due respect, the Prime Minister, in answering the question, began by saying that the sum total is 769 million.
That's the variance.
And then I did not disturb the Prime Minister on your...
I'm sorry.
Sir, and then he went and called out some figures there, telling us that it's accumulating to $4,365,990,000. Sir, on page 690, Appendix T of the National Data Management Authority, the requested total is 5,135,129,000. So the answer, sir, began with a sum total that the Prime Minister claimed to be 769, ended with him telling us it's 4,365,000, but the requested sum is 5,135,129,000. Would the Honorable Prime Minister be kind enough to provide some clarification with this mix-up in numbers?
Well, Honorable Prime Minister, it's the imputations that come in the questions. He says it's a mix-up. So, Honorable Member, it might take some time to clarify the mix-up.
Mr. Chairman, can I answer?
Just 1 second. I just want to bring the House's attention to the time remaining for the heads. We have 146 minutes, including your hour. And right now, we are at 96 minutes. So we have 50 minutes more to go. You can answer now, Prime Minister.
Mr. Chairman, what I read out just now, and perhaps I must apologize if I did cause a confusion in the member's mind, honorable member. Everything that I read out there added up to 5,135,129,000. No, I said it all along the line earlier, but anyhow, let's go on. No, it's not a matter of line,
Thank
it's
you
a
very
matter
much,
of...
sir. That's clarified.
It's clarified? Okay. I'm happy to hear that.
Honorable
Well,
members?
let me apologize if I didn't call the figure, but the figure that I just called is the figure, and the disaggregation that I give is a disaggregation for that figure.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 24, Telecommunications and Innovation, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, the sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, let us now turn to the same program, the capital expenditure, which now is contained in pages 507 and 508. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 24, Telecommunications and Innovation, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Professor Dr. Hines.
Mr. Chairman, project code 121-9100, National Identification, Enrollment, and Issue System. I have a couple of questions for the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister. If you can kindly tell the House how many EID cards have been produced thus far.
Nobody was listening.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. To answer the honorable members, 7,500 were enrolled and 4,600 issued to date.
Thank you very much, Mr. Honorable Prime Minister. Can I ask a couple of follow-ups? What are the official designations of the officials in whose custody the data is being held?
Honorable Prime Minister.
The official designation is
yes, of the
Data Protection Commissioner.
And how many, just one person?
Honorable
just
Prime
one
Minister?
official?
One commissioner and supporting staff.
Okay, thank you.
Honorable Professor.
If I may, Mr. Chair, on what legal basis is identity data being collected when no commencement order has been issued for the Digital Identity Card Act and the Data Protection Act?
Honorable Prime Minister, I think I heard you answer to that earlier.
Well, yes. He did answer, Mr. Chairperson, Mr. Chairman, he did answer as to when, but my question is on what authority, what legal authority he's been proceeding on thus far.
Honorable Prime Minister, I just want to say to the Honorable Professor Doctor that I have some amount of comprehension. And I was speaking, and I don't like to be interrupted when I speak. Honorable Prime Minister.
I asked if the honorable members could listen, and I will read out everything here. Legality of the issuance of the digital identity card. The issuance of the digital identity card is governed by a strategy of phased implementation, ensuring the infrastructure is ready for the law before full activation. While both the Digital Identity Card Act 2023 and the Data Protection Act 2023 have received presidential assent and are validly validly enacted, the current pilot phase operates under the executive power to prepare for the formal commencement of these acts. By initially issuing cards to public sector employees, the government is conducting essential life stress testing. This ensures that when the acts are fully brought into force via the ministerial order, the system will already meet or exceed the rigorous standards set out in the legislation. Key pillars of this legal transition include: one, informed consent. Because the mandatory provisions of the Act have not yet been activated, participation in this phase is strictly voluntary. Every card, and I want you to, all the members to listen to this part carefully, because it explains voluntary, strictly voluntary. Every card issued to date is based on the informed consent of the recipient. Secondly, data consolidation, not new collection. Again, listen, data consolidation, not new collection. The system currently utilizes data that the state already possesses through established registries such as the General Register Office, GRO, the Guyana Revenue Authority, GRA, and Immigration Office. The EID, electronic ID card, simply consolidates these existing legal records into a more secure, tamper-proof format. Number four, fourth pillar, active oversight. The appointment of the Data Protection Commissioner on January 2nd, 2026 confirms that the national enforcement mechanism is operational. The Commissioner's first mandate is to audit the pilot phase, ensuring full alignment with data protection principles such as purpose limitation and security prior to a national rollout. I think I should read the other part for them too.
Remember, Professor Haynes.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, and I hope this question is taken in the spirit in which it's being asked. Mr. Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, the 2023 Data Protection Act states that the Data Protection Commissioner must be someone who is of eminence in public life with wide knowledge and experience in law, science and technology, management, and administration or governance. Can you tell this House, Mr. Prime Minister, on what basis is the Data Commissioner, Mr. Anil Giddens, is of eminence in public life?
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Anil Giddens has satisfied all the requirements outlined by the honorable member and beyond. And beyond. And therefore, we had no discomfort in so appointing him.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Miss, may I?
Honorable Member, Professor Haynes.
May I follow up? As the date, and again, I hope this question is taken in the spirit, Honorable Prime Minister. As the Data Commissioner taken with him a copy of GCOM's National Register of Registrants database in order to...
That particular question is out of order. I want to know under which line item, if he did that, if he had to pay GCOM $100 million out of this, whatever. You're out of order, though.
I'm guided. I'm
Thank
guided,
you.
respectfully so. One last.
Go ahead, honorable member.
On the 20th of October, 2025, the Minister of Home Affairs, the Honorable Onage Walron, said at the press conference that the EID card would be used to gauge compliance with tax and NIS laws. How will this be done when the relevant tax laws guarantees confidentiality?
I'm advised, Mr. Chairman, that these systems are currently being interrogated as to how the card will be used to access those services that you mentioned.
Honorable
Miss,
Professor, a follow-up?
Miss,
Honorable member, Mr. Mahipal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have a follow-up on the Honorable Professor's previous question, which was answered by the Honorable Prime Minister, referenced the Data Commissioner. So I'm now learning that the Data Commissioner was employed. Would you permit me, sir, to ask the salary and benefits of the Data Commissioner, reference to the answer that the Honorable Prime Minister gave earlier?
Honorable Prime Minister.
The salary of the Data Commissioner is $1,320,000 per month.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is there any allowances attached to this? This is the basic salary, I'm assuming. And the allowances? Not equivalent to you.
I have be finishing if we use up the 6 months that we have.
The ones that
Okay. I already give the salary, okay, the basic salary. The allowances, $50,000 per month, $30,000 per month, $50,000 per month, $75,000 per month, $40,000 per month, $125,000 per month, and these cover housing, entertainment, phone, and then you have a vacation allowance equivalent to 1 month's salary and a gratuity of 22.5% that is paid every 6 months.
Honorable member, Mr. Mahipal. Honorable member.
Thank you, Mr.
Ms.
Chairman.
Sarabu Hali. And then I have Qs, the honorable member, and Sherrod Duncan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I heard the Prime Minister he read something that bothers me because the reality is that the persons who received the EID, they did not volunteer that they were going to be part of a pilot. How I know? Because, anyways, I'm not responding to you. They were coerced into taking them because they were told that if they could not actually take them, then they wouldn't be able to get their cash grants. So it was not that they volunteered to a pilot program. So when I sat down and I heard that from the Prime Minister, I know he was given something. So I'm not saying that this was him, but there is there's some gap between what I have known to be what happened to a lot of those persons who actually had to take to sign up for the EID cards in the public service and what I'm hearing on the floor here. So I'm just trying to bridge the gap between what I know and what I heard on the floor here.
I just wanted to clarify in my mind what you heard that is different from what I heard from the PM, right? So, because I seem to have a disconnect, but let PM clarify my confusion. PM?
Mr. Chairman, we have no report of anyone making any allegation that they were coerced into providing their information. And I think I would want to believe that if the honorable member came into contact with such information, we owe, or you owe a responsibility to this nation to point the people to the necessary authorities so we can do an investigation. As I oversaw this activity and interacted with public servants, none of them so far have complained about being coerced. But if you have such a complaint, take the statements or point them to the police or to the authorities or to us, and we will investigate. But I want to tell this House and tell the nation of Guyana that everybody who came forward, and I must congratulate them, I must congratulate the public servants who came forward and gave their information, because they recognize the importance of this card. This is taking us leaps and bounds into the 21st century, way into the 21st century. Many countries are still grappling, and they claim they're more developed than us. We are heading, catapulting Guyana into the future, making things more easier for people. With this card, it means that they can get many services that are available in the most efficient manner. I can only use my lived experience again. 25 years, 30 years ago, I did a course in America. And with a Generation 2 phone, I paid all my bills. I had card that I access services, and I'm happy. And I know many Guyanese are happy that we're finally getting this facility here in Guyana.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. Prime Minister, thank you for confirming I wasn't confused.
Thank you.
Honorable Member Qs Sharma Solomon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Can the Prime Minister clarify for us if this card is going to consolidate existing ID cards from GCOM or our driver license? And if not so, we've already been told that certain government services will likely be using this card. How does that negate what we have with the single window that is already $6 million invested by this government. Can the Prime Minister clarify that, please? Thank you very much.
Honorable Prime Minister.
The simple answer is no. This is a separate ID card from the one that is issued by GCOM. This is a card that will open windows to you. A lot of services you can get from this card. When it comes to voting, you still have to have the ID card from GCOM to vote and to ensure that you are on any list for the purpose of voting.
And that is for the cards, but what about the single window of government services that you said, for example, will be used for e-health and services like that?
Honorable Prime Minister.
For the single window or general services, access to general services, the answer is yes. And you can recall that I think 2 months ago, we launched a center. We launched a center at Lenora. And in a matter of days from now, I think it's Wednesday. Where? On Wednesday, we will launch a second center at Fort Wellington. And we'll keep rolling out and we'll get to Region 10 sooner than you expect. The whole aim is Guyanese throughout the length and breadth of Guyana will have the opportunity of signing up and getting this card issued to them and to start reaping the benefits associated with having this card.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And the same issue, line item of the ID card. Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to ask, based on everything the Honorable Prime Minister has said so glowingly about the facility of this ID card is the card of the future, what then has been the impediment to having the legislation go hand in hand with the all that has been said? What is the impediment? What has been the impediment to date?
Prime Minister, all I could say is that the honorable members love to hear your voice. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to assure the honorable member that there was no impediment. You passed the legislation, you have
2 years ago.
All right, it's a process. It's a process. You have to build out the system. You have to staff. You have to agree on a structure. You have to staff it with the important people. You have to now, as part of the operationalizing, you have to do some testing and adjusting. This is a highly technical project. And perhaps if you were more interested in understanding what it entails and not lean on your own understanding.
You're imputing, sir.
Right? Not lean on your own understanding. You would have been able to appreciate what I'm saying here. It has to go through a testing phase. In order to take it through a testing phase, you have to issue cards to people. You have to issue cards to people and then test. And then when you make the adjustments and you finalize everything, ensure you have the commissioner in place, everything in place, then you issue the commencement order because you're now ready for operation. You're now ready for operation. And project management follows that. If you have a project, you're implementing something, you have these stages to go through. So I wish to assure you that there's no impediment. What there were are points that we have to work through, okay? To get to where we are today.
Thank you.
Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
I have a follow-up.
Sure.
By the same token, Prime Minister, the legislation that was passed 2 years ago, it envisaged a data commissioner who we have employed. The legislation is also, and you said it's going to be operationalized very soon. The legislation also envisages a data protection commission. And the question is whether the 2026 budget has that fiscal space for the data protection commission being operationalized.
Honorable Prime Minister.
There is a provision for that. And of course, there's another step. There's another step in the process, and I can assure the honorable member that we will get there and we will have that commission. Okay?
Thank you, Prime Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
So I take it as a yes, there is a fiscal space here to operationalize it.
Honorable Member, Mr.
There is fiscal space. If you don't see it here, we will provide for it.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
Thank you very much. My final question on this issue. PM, I've welcomed all that you've said about this card and all that it promises. I welcome that for Guyanese. The question is, Prime Minister, do you have one of these cards? Do members of the government, the ministers, have one of these cards?
Two things here.
If you're in possession of one.
Two things here. And Mr. Solomon, please give me a chance to
Honorable
answer.
Prime Minister, I'm giving you that chance.
Please give me a chance to answer. Please give me a chance to answer. I want to correct you and change a word that you use to the word benefits. There are a lot of benefits that will be accrued to the Guyanese people from this card. And regards to your second answer, yes, I do have a card. I don't have it on me here now, but I do have a card.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I know you still have a follow-up. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 2 Program 24, Telecommunications and Innovation Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to pages 60 and 61, honorable members. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 25, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Line items. Should I hold for the staff to be seated? Yes.
I think they're ready now.
Honorable member, please.
Thank you, Mr.
can
Chairman.
Go ahead.
On the line item 6284 and this allocation that is here, Mr. Chairman, Stabrook News is owed about $100 million by the government. Is payment of that sum featured in this allocation here?
Which line item?
6284.
6284.
The simple answer is no. It's not catered for under this line item.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
On the line item 6321, is it featured there, Mr. Prime Minister? Through the
6321.
chair?
6321.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I'm not sure that we buy fuel and lubricants from Starbuck News.
6321 is not fuel and
Is it 6231 you're talking about?
6321.
63. 6321? No, I did this. I was a accounting officer for a number of years, so. Yeah. It cater for here? It cater for here, right? 6321, subsidies and contributions to local organizations. We have $970,192,000 there. And it caters for the increased allocation provided subvention for the National Communications Network in the amount of $490,192,000. Department of Public Information, $480 million. And for salaries and daily operations.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
Follow up. So the answer is no. In this 480 million for DPI, it's not there. The money owed for Starbuck News, $100 million by the government.
It caters for operations,
Sidone.
staff payments, and so.
Mr. Speaker, through the chair, Prime Minister, is there any intention to pay Starbuck News what is owed in this fiscal year?
Mr. Chair, we're talking about the budget here. And if you look at what obtained in 2025, there were several instances in the media where Starbuck News and other news agencies claimed that they had money outstanding and they were paid. I have no reason to believe that in 2026, this government will not find a way of paying them what is owed. It don't necessarily have to be here, but we could find a way of paying them.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
We are a responsible government.
Prime Minister.
It's not allocated under the subhead, but doesn't mean that we cannot find a way of paying them.
Thank you.
Y'all found a way of paying many things in the past. And I don't want to go there because we're talking about 2026 budget and the office of the Prime Minister, ministerial responsibilities.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Q. Sharma Solomon. Past honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 2.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Duncan, honorable member.
On the 6321, Mr. Speaker, two reports came out quite recently, the European Union Election Observation Mission, and then we had the Commonwealth of the same nature. And both spoke to uneven playing field created during the last election. And one of them was the access to the media. And I wanted to know, in this dispensation, what guarantees does the 6321, can the country have that the opposition will have equal access to the state media, which we're funding?
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, 6321 talks about money being allocated for the operations of the state media and the payment of the staff.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
So I don't see the basis for the question under 6321. No, but you're talking about something totally unrelated to the budgetary allocation for the agency.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 2. Program 021, Government Information and Communication Services, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, let us turn to page 508. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 25, capital expenditure, now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 2, Program 25, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister, and all of your agencies and their staff for taking us through those areas of your responsibility.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to commend my staff indeed for the hard work they would have done. And I'd like to commend the members of the opposition for all the questions posed that I have adequately answered. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very, very much, Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable members, just to get the timekeeping right, we have 11 minutes saved to take over to tomorrow. 11 minutes. And so those who are keeping time can check. Let the assembly resume. Honorable members, have a safe trip, and staff and all the support services staff have a safe trip home. We resume tomorrow at 2 p.m.